and it is called Try Softer. And I read the book. It's an amazing book. I encourage you to read the book. But even just the title, I had this book on my shelf for many months before I finally read it. And even just the title is such an invitation because if you're like me, when there's a challenge or something new, we all have just heard this mantra drilled into us: try harder, do your best, sweat, grind, like get it done. And this week, as I've been preparing for this speech, thinking through things, I have been trying really, really hard. And I remembered something yesterday when it all kind of like, I hit that kind of wall of like, oh my gosh, this feels so heavy. What I realized is that when I'm trying harder and I'm just staying in my own strength and trying to figure it all out, the lie that I so easily believe is that I just need more time, more energy. And so I'm just pushing hard, trying hard. And really, the only place that that leads is burnout. And I experienced this very firsthand when I was in my 20s. I just graduated college. I got my first teaching job, and I tried so hard with teaching, and I just burnt myself into the ground so quickly. And I just had that, I was believing that lie. Like, if I just get up earlier, if I just work harder, if I just do more after dinner, and it's just a burnout cycle. And so, this epiphany this week and the offering that I want to share with you is, what if instead of trying so hard and stressing out, what would it look like to try softer? And part of trying softer is I shared this image with you in the chat of our group. I don't know if it'll drop in here for me in this chat now, but it's called the 8 C's and the 5 P's of internal family systems therapy. And basically the idea is that we are at our best and we can create the best when we are tapped into these 8 C's. And I'm going to read them to you: compassion, curiosity, courage, clarity, creativity, connected, confidence, and calm. And as I sit with those words, those are not words that come just from trying harder. Yes, it's wonderful to be prepared. Yes, I want to give my best. But those words to me and those ways of being really emerge when I pause and I rest and I trust and I'm listening to God. I'm listening to what's bubbling up. And then the other part that internal family systems talks a lot about is 5 P's. And they are presence, perspective, patience, playfulness, and persistence. And so the invitation I really felt yesterday through a series of meetings and people, including Lisa's reel, is this invitation is to try softer. What would it look like to not have such a tight white-knuckled grip? And what would it look like to try softer and trust that this message is going to come, that this opportunity is ordained by God, that it's not all on me to figure out. This is something I get to do with God in the same way that I have found to lean into writing with God and letting Him direct the story and speak to me, letting it unfold the process. I get to bring that now to speaking to this new area that feels uncomfortable, that feels vulnerable, and trying softer just can open up so much space. So practically speaking, what I'm learning this week is to, yes, work on my speech, but not all day and all night. That sounds so that sounds so, of course you're not going to work on it day and night. But I was definitely finding myself into that, like, well, if I just think about this every minute and like stress anyway. So there's just such a power when we can shift out of that and create some boundaries around our work, around the challenge that we're facing, and realize, you know what, do other things. Keep exercising, keep moving, keep taking care of yourself, and just try softer. Just trust that the process will unfold, the words will come, the illustrations will come. And so I wanted to encourage each of you with that. I don't know what you're going through this week. I don't know if it's been an amazing week where you feel on fire and like, yes, I've got this, or if it's been a more discouraged week where you're maybe feeling the burden of expectations or things you wanted to do. And my encouragement for you as a writer is to try softer. What would it look like to shower yourself with compassion? What would it look like to follow your curiosity, to follow the fun? What would it look like to just take the very smallest next courageous step? What would it look like to give yourself space in the mystery and trust that clarity is going to emerge? What would it look like to do something creative just for fun? What would it look like to connect with someone, maybe in this group, asking them for coffee, maybe in your life? And then what would it look like to invite a sense of calm? Does it mean just sitting for 5 minutes outside, going for a walk, taking a bath? And I encourage you to do that because we are at our most creative when we feel safe. And in today's world, with the way some of us grew up, it can be really hard to get out of fight or flight, get out of the mental load of all the things that we have to do. But I just want to encourage you today and even this weekend to give yourself the gift of some space and time to read for fun, to sip your favorite beverage, to go look at trees, because that is actually going to enhance your creativity. And so often our best ideas come when we're not even sitting at our desks, when we are out enjoying nature, when we're talking with friends or family. So that is my encouragement for you. Try softer. And I would love to hear over the weekend or next week, what has that looked like for you? What does it mean to you to try softer?